Today I'll be discussing the story of a communist coup within Estonia, which threatened to shift the political balance of the Baltics and showed the underground capabilities and aggression by the Soviet Union towards other European nations. At the time, the Soviet Union was recovering and establishing itself as a communist powerhouse in the East, and they attempted to create the workers' revolution. So they instituted groups like GRU to infiltrate fragile countries and spark uprisings. These efforts mostly failed, with the Weimar Republic and Bulgaria both having somewhat large uprisings, but ultimately ending with a loss. The stories of the KPD's Hamburg Uprising and the Bulgarian September Uprising are much more well known, and groups like the German KPD would continue to be a part of central government politics. The KPD was the communists Hitler would target before and during World War II. Anyways, this story takes place in December 1924. However, the coup started all the way back in January of the same year, when Soviet-influenced communists were arrested, 149 to be exact. The trial of the 149 lasted until the end of November, with many being sent to prison for life, and showed the anti-communist sentiment by the independent Estonia and the anti-communist sentiment in the people, as many had already had the options, such as land redistribution, that the communists offered. The trial ended in late November, and the anti-Soviet actions resulted in Moscow sending 60 Razvedpur, or modern GRU, agents to stage a communist uprising to continue to the workers' revolution. Some 279 Soviets entered the country with rifles, grenades, LMGs, and machine guns to help raise the revolution. The goal was to strike the Estonian National Defense College, and the communists rallied on December 1st at 5 a.m. at the Riemann House, 1 kilometer from the target. Their goal was to eliminate the airfield and troops asleep and try to spark a revolution that would establish an Estonian Soviet Socialist Republic. The group moved out. Turnout was way lower than expected. The 279 Soviets expected 104 Estonians to join, but only 56 showed up. Nonetheless, the additional units would prove vital. They kept close conversation with their HQ, and some 335 revolutionaries moved out to eliminate the 450 cadets stationed at the college. The officer was Josip Lang, and he had ordered his guards to enter a building after their patrol. The gunmen reached the dorms and threw grenades into the dorm as they unleashed heavy gunfire onto the sleeping cadets. Guards rushed over and distracted the revolutionaries while cadets rushed to pick up their weapons. Meanwhile, groups of rebels stormed the Tompia Castle, where Parliament is held, and other smaller groups targeted the homes of heads of state. They managed to capture the barracks and airfield, where some soldiers even joined them. However, soon enough, the government forced the rebels out, and the soldiers who joined them were killed. In their retreat, 2 military aircraft were stolen, in an attempt to return back to the Soviet Union. One was forced to land around Narva, but the other made it across the border. The uprising saw the death of the Minister of Roads, who was killed in an attack by the communists at a train station, where he was shot and killed. By 10 a.m. the same day, the fire ceased, but this escalation saw a nationwide manhunt for communists, where police officers went around searching and killing communists involved. The lead Soviet collaborators snuck back to the Soviet Union. Ironically, they would be killed during Stalin's Great Purge for treason. Despite the small size of the coup, which was joked about by Estonians for years, I found it a very interesting event in the concept of the workers' revolution. The Estonian government, who was anti-Soviet in the first place, managed to please its people at a time of great Soviet influence. It is also interesting why the Soviets had such a small force against the entire country. I think this was an attempt to scare the Estonian government and go against the trial that saw the removal of communist influence in Estonia. Either way, this was a super small story, but I wanted to look into Estonian history, and I found that this event was barely reported on outside Estonia. So might as well let it see the light of day. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry for this short video, but I thought it was a good story. And yeah, thanks for watching.